Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Tabarak Aquatics. My name is Roz, and you're here in my fish room. Hey fish fiends and aquarium junkies. Hey friends and family. I'm glad to be here. I know it's been quite a while since I've uploaded a video. I've been very busy down here in the fish room, very busy with my personal life as well. But I've made quite a lot of progress, okay? We're gonna discuss that in another video, because this video right here, I'm gonna keep it real simple. This is an impromptu video, so it's not gonna be perfect or anything like that, but I hope you can appreciate it. It's impromptu because I was down here doing work, and I just kept looking over here at this tank, and it was just looking so gorgeous and so dialed in. And I said, you know what, I have to share this right here, right now. All right, the Tomocichla Asfracii, the holy grail cichlid for many fish keepers, especially if you like Central American, South American cichlids. All right, so stay along for the ride, watch to the end. If you have any comments, leave the comments, like, share, subscribe, hold tight. All right, so this is my Tomocichla Asfracii tank. This is definitely my bucket list fish, dream fish. This is a holy grail fish for most fish keepers, especially if you keep Central and South American cichlids. This is a holy grail fish, and very hard to get to, very hard to get hold of, very expensive when you do find them. So I'm very privileged to have these fish. So I'm going to do this little video. These are juveniles. They're about 4 inches. You know, some are a little smaller, some are a little bigger, but about 4 inches. I have them in here with 6 Colombian tetras. I have 4 pink-tailed chalceas in here with them to occupy the top portion of the tank. And I have 4 albino geophagus, albino red-head tapajo geophagus in here. And I have a sunshine pleco. I wish it would come out and do a cameo for me. But in any case, just to give you an idea of how to keep these fish, they come from mostly Panama. You can also find them in Nicaragua, but mostly you're going to find them in Panama, okay? And they come from mild flowing to fast flowing rivers, and that's why you see I got a lot of flow in here. So the setup, I set this tank up like a river type of setup, you know, to make them feel comfortable. Got a lot of flow going on. They like, they need high oxygenated water, clean water, you know, because fast flowing river is going to be a lot of turnover as far as water turnover. So the water is going to be clean. So they like clean water, high oxygenated water. I keep this tank at about 7.0 to 7.2. From what I understand, they like their pH anywhere from 6.8 to 7.4, but you know, I try to stay right around 7.0 to 7.2. The temperatures that they enjoy is from what I understand, between 78 to 83 degrees. I was advised to keep them at about 78 to 80. I talked to David from in the Cichlid den. Check out his channel, you know, if you can. He keeps some awesome cichlids, South American and Central American. If you're into South American and Central American cichlids, check out his channel in the Cichlid den. David has some awesome fish, and I talked to him on the phone. We got out. He got his Tomocichla Asfracii from the same source that I got mine from, and that was from King. If you guys are familiar with him, he had got his originally from Dan Sharifi, when Dan Sharifi went and collected these down in Panama. But in any case, I was able to get a hold to some of these guys, and I'm very grateful for it, very appreciative. Like I said, this is a bucket list fish for most, and it's definitely a bucket list fish for me. And now the idea is to grow them up, color them up, and hopefully spawn them so that we can make them more readily available in the hobby. Because I looked at some of these prices online, and fish at about this size is between $300 to $400. You know, that's if you're able to find them in stock. And I think it's ridiculous. So we're gonna have to do better about making fish like this available in the hobby, so that you know, more people can keep them and propagate them, and you know, because you never know when their habitat is going to disappear, and when the habitat disappears, that fish disappears. So you never know when that's going to happen. When some rich person is going to spill some oil or some chemicals, you know, in their river and destroy the habitat. You never know. So yeah, let's make this readily available so that we can keep these fish in the hobby, so that we can enjoy them. Andy Woods have a video where he had a pair of Tomocichla Asfracii. So check out his video if you want to see what they look like when they get to adult size. They were very beautiful, the ones he had. Beautiful pair. These guys don't have any. They just beginning to color up just a little bit. Let me see if I can get closer. You know, they just starting to color up just a little bit. Not as nicely colored up as the ones that David has, but I do see that they starting to, you know, do something. I'm just happy that I finally got them comfortable enough where they out and swimming about in the tank, because at first I had a different setup in here. It was more plain because I like that plain look. So I just had some rocks and boulders lined up against the back wall stacked. And, you know, I didn't have this big piece of driftwood in here. Aesthetically, I like that look better. But I realized that with that wide open space with those rocks against the back wall, the fish, they hid, and I made it too easy for them to hide. And I was watching, I had watched David's video in the Cichlid den. I watched this video, and his Tomocichla Asfracii were nicely colored up and out in the open and everything. And I noticed that he had nice big driftwood in the middle of the tank, and his fish were out and about and colored up nicely and everything. I spoke with him on the phone, and he was like, "Yeah, that makes a difference." So that's what I did. I took that advice, and it looks like the psychology behind it is that these fish, when they have a big structure, that's out in the open like that, they're going to be more comfortable coming out in the open and swimming around, because, you know, they have this, you know, big structure to go run and hide if they feel like they're in danger. You know, before I had to put food in the tank to coax them out and stuff like that, but nah, I haven't fed these guys all day, to be honest with you. And they are out and about, and they look very comfortable. I'm very pleased with this. You know, I'm very pleased with the effect. You know, so I'm glad that I put that big piece of wood in here. Had to stack some rocks on top of it because it's not waterlogged. It was floating and carrying. As you can see, I had to cut some of the limbs off of it because this is a huge piece of wood. I had to cut some limbs off and everything to make it fit. Is it yes, it might be a little waste of money, but I didn't cut too much off. I think I love this piece of wood. You know, you guys let me know what you think. I think it adds a nice look to it, but what's more important is that the fish feel comfortable enough to come out and swim about. Now, I really wish that the albino redhead tapajos would come out more often or whatever. You know, maybe I think I might need a few more, because I only have 4 of them in there. And, you know, most geophagus, it takes about 6 or 7 of them in the tank together in order to make them feel comfortable, you know. So I think maybe I need to get a few more. But until then, I'm just going to enjoy this tank right here. I feed them what's that, extreme. I feed them extreme big fellas pellets, because it's low in fat. You know, these fish that you want to keep their diet, as far as taking care of, you want to keep their fat content low. So you want to keep it less than 5% fat content if you don't want to end up losing these fish, because they will bloat and die on you if the fat content is high, especially when they're small. So once they get past 5-6 inches, I'll feel more open about feeding them other stuff. Occasionally I put a little food in there that's a little higher in fat or whatever, but I can't afford to lose these guys. I definitely got to be successful with keeping them, so I'm going to keep their fat content below 5%. So read the back of the package of pellets and make sure that that is less than that is 5% or less of crude fat content, you know, at least until they get 5 to 6 inches, you know, before you start feeding them with a lot of high fat content, okay? And feeding these pink-tailed chalcids, they like to eat at the top, so I feed them hikari floating pellets that are 5% in fat, and that's because, you know, these Asfracii, they're going to get some of those hikari pellets and stuff like that. They're not going to say, hey, I'm going to eat this one, but not that one. They're going to eat whatever you put in tank. So what I do is I just try to make sure that all of them are on pretty much the same diet, you know, less than 5% fat content. Occasionally I'll put some, you know, some food in there that are, you know, some mealworms and stuff like that that'll float at the top, strictly for the pink-tailed chalcids to get to, because, you know, they do like that type of stuff, and they get to it so fast that it's not that big of a deal. In any case, you guys leave a comment. Let me know what you think about them. If you have any questions, you can ask the questions. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But this is the first time me ever keeping these fish, and I'm just stoked. And of course, when we get these guys to spawning and stuff like that, I'll let you guys know and make them available. I'm gonna start real soon shipping out fish that people are interested in, that I get hold to, that I have, or, you know, if I get spawns and stuff like that. I've been holding back in the fish room, but I'm going to stop holding back, because I love this hobby, and I want to, you know, if I love this hobby, you love this hobby too. And I think it's ridiculous that we usually have to pay so much money to get a hold to these fish that we love. I don't think that we should be monopolizing and pimping the hobby. You know, make some money, yeah, make your money, but we need to stop pimping the hobby. So, you know, my plan is that I'm gonna stop holding back. I'm gonna start setting up these tanks and making it, you know, so that the fish can spawn, and that when they become available, I can sell some and ship them out to you guys and share with the rest of you guys in the hobby. All right. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching this video. Well, that's going to be the wrap. Thanks for watching the video. I greatly appreciate you. Let's keep this hobby strong. Let's do our part and make this hobby, let's make fish keeping great again. That's going to be my new slogan. Don't nobody steal it now. Don't y'all steal it. I better not see any t-shirts out there. Do not steal my idea. I'm saying it right here, right now on YouTube. Let's make fish keeping great again. Or let's make this hobby great again. I haven't figured out which one to go with. But anyway, thanks for watching. Until next time, happy fish keeping. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.